Okay, so the question is, am I going to issue a reaction video? No, I'm not going to issue a reaction video.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to respond to High Intensity Health's response to my response to him, where he attempted to officially debunk vegan and vegetarian diets for humans. Unfortunately, we don't have an actual YouTube video response from him because he actually refuses to give such a response, and you'll understand why shortly. It should go without saying that if you haven't seen my response to him, you probably should watch it before watching this. I'll have it linked below. If you don't end up watching it before watching this, it should still be clear to you by the end of this video how ridiculous he's being in response to my response. And before going into everything, I just want to say the main reason I want to cover this is because whenever I make a debunk video on somebody and the video makes it so unbelievably clear that the person I'm criticizing has made several errors, I always wonder what could their response be besides something as simple as, oh damn, I really messed up here, and should probably issue several corrections and possibly even delete my original video. This of course seems like the honest and ethical thing to do. The alternative to this kind of, reasonable and ethical response is more of a cope response where somebody just shows they're completely unwilling to admit that they got things wrong in their video. And you'll find that this alternative response is the kind of response we're dealing with today. And I find it is so psychologically interesting. So we'll be going over DMs between High Intensity Health and a friend of mine, along with DMs between me and him concerning the contents of my video. So a friend of mine, Dr. Matthew Nagra, who I'm sure many of you are aware of, ended up tagging him in a story post sharing my video of him, saying that Lifting Vegan Logic has just, dropped a video exposing some of the misinformation that High Intensity Health is spreading. He tagged Metabolic Mike because that's his name on Instagram. He ended up responding with a nervous smile emoji, to which Nagra asked, will you issue corrections? As an unbiased person in the space hoping to educate the public, of course. And then High Intensity Health responded with this message.
Okay, so the question is, am I going to issue a reaction video based upon someone splitting hairs with every single word that I say, using semantics and trying to make themselves sound actually more intelligent than me by overinterpreting every single phrase that I mentioned and adjective that I used? No, I'm not going to issue a reaction video based upon that, especially when they disparage me, and especially when they have a picture of me with a clown looking like a clown. So I'm not. If it was just on the content and there was no personal attacks, then yeah, I would do that. But at this point, I'm not. So anyway.
Wow. Now that was really something, wasn't it? It seems he went with the cope response rather than being honest and acknowledging he has made several errors in his video. His concern with the clown part of the thumbnail was interesting considering he intentionally put Sean Baker up against Moby in his thumbnail. Do I really need to explain how doing such a thing warrants him being given the clown hair and nose that I chose in my thumbnail? Comparing a musician to somebody who regularly lifts weights and is really into fitness. Amazing. And here's my Instagram story I made where basically I was issuing my response to his voice message and I tagged him in the process. I said, I've been made aware that Metabolic Mike, or High Intensity Health, has seen my video and refuses to respond to it because I, quote, argued with semantics, overinterpreted his words, and the clown stuff in the thumbnail. Massive cop-out, obviously. I guess when speaking on science, I shouldn't pay attention to his words too much, even if doing so indicates he's making multiple false claims. And this was his response. Thanks for tagging me. I don't care what people eat so long as they're aware of the nutritional deficiency they may be inadvertently creating. The problem with vegan activists such as yourself is you're unaware of your own bias and obfuscation of the data you are. I don't really understand that last part, but anyway. You also don't discriminate between healthy vegan foods / dietary approaches versus unhealthy, quote, plant-based foods. That's my problem. Now, before I show my response, I just want to say that it's so wild that he ended up saying that I, in particular, don't discriminate between healthy vegan foods / dietary approaches versus unhealthy, quote, plant-based foods. Here's a clip of my video on him doing exactly that.
Hey friends, welcome back. In today's show, we're going to debunk the myth that vegan and vegetarian diets are healthy for humans.
So it's not totally clear what he means by this. Is he trying to debunk the claim that vegan and vegetarian diets have the potential to be healthy if done appropriately? Or is he trying to debunk the claim that vegan and vegetarian diets are always healthy for humans? Because I obviously agree that there are permutations of a vegan and vegetarian diet that can be healthy, but also there's permutations that can be unhealthy. I would never claim that a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet, no matter the structure, is going to be healthy. Obviously, I distinguish between healthy and unhealthy plant-based foods. And to be honest, I'm not sure what vegan doesn't. I'm pretty sure that most vegans can understand that Oreos and potato chips are unhealthy while fruits and vegetables aren't. So I responded to him saying, dude, quote, unaware of my own bias? yet you cited a narrative review written by paleo advocates to support your video while trying to come across as unbiased. You made multiple false claims. Why not just face up to that and issue a correction? I'm totally aware of my own bias and have revised my positions on many things in the past and advised vegans to do the same. And that's just another false claim. I am aware that there are unhealthy vegan foods and advise vegans to limit them if their goal is to be healthy. Ironically, you're just making more false claims here. Can I at least get a concession that all essential amino acids can be found in whole plant foods? Let's see if you're intellectually honest. So here I'm doing that thing I talk about on my channel a lot, which is where I try to see if I can get just a basic concession on a very simple point from him, because if he's not going to give that concession, there really is no point in engaging with him further on more complex topics. He says, I watched the first 5 minutes. To the best of my knowledge, you didn't address unhealthy versus healthy vegan diets. Okay, so just a reminder that the clip I showed previously where I clearly imply there are such things as unhealthy vegan foods was 1 minute into my video. So either he's being dishonest here or he has very poor comprehension skills. He goes on to say, I have a master's degree in nutrition, so obviously know about the hierarchy of evidence. Many of the systematic reviews and even RCTs supporting plant-based narratives are conducted by researchers who receive funding from big food that support plant-based dogma. The entire science field and academia as a whole seems to be biased toward this narrative. In the video, I was mostly focusing on micronutrients that one would not be getting from plant-based diets. Now, notice he still won't concede that very basic point about essential amino acids in whole plant-based foods, but anyway, I ended up saying I did and acknowledge there is such thing as an unhealthy vegan diet. Do you really think I think a diet comprised of solely soda and potato chips is healthy? It's weird to me that you have a master's degree in nutrition, yet are unaware that all essential amino acids can be found in all whole plant-based foods. And I wouldn't discount research solely based on conflict of interest and funding, but rather methodology, etc. And then get this. He is so concerned about funding, yet here is the funding for one of the papers backing his claims about not eating meat and mental health. If you go to the funding section of this paper, it literally says, this study was funded in part via an unrestricted research grant from the Beef Checkoff through the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. So I said, how are you going to bring up funding when this was the funding for one of the reviews cited to support your mental health claims? Like, come on, bro. And he never ended up responding, but he did read the message. So let's just give a brief summary of his response to my video. If you watch my video, you'll see that my video demonstrably showed that High Intensity Health has made several errors in his video that need correction. His response to watching my video was that I was overinterpreting his words, even though a charitable interpretation of his words just show he has made several false claims. He thinks I'm not aware of my own bias when he is the one who said he is trying to come across as unbiased while citing a narrative review written by paleo diet advocates to unbiasedly discuss vegan diets. He is upset about the clown part of my thumbnail, even though he compared Moby, a musician, to Sean Baker, somebody who regularly lifts weights. He's upset with me for not distinguishing between healthy and unhealthy plant foods, even though I did within the 5-minute period he supposedly watched. He cites he has a master's degree in nutrition, yet didn't know all the essential amino acids can be found in whole plant foods. And he claims that a lot of our studies are funded by, quote, big food, yet his studies for meat and good mental health was funded by the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Truly amazing stuff here, guys. As stated at the beginning of this video, I've always wondered how somebody would respond to one of my debunk videos where I undeniably show that they've made several errors, and now I know. It's just one giant cop-out, cope, and hypocritical response, void of responding to criticisms I laid out in the video. I think it's clear this guy is just an anti-vegan ideologue, unwilling to admit he is wrong, and, rather than engage with the actual topic, just say, oh, like you hurt my feelings with this whole clown thing in the thumbnail, so I'm not going to engage. And of course, we probably just shouldn't take anything he says seriously when it comes to vegan nutrition. All right, guys, well, that's the end of the video. The invitation to discuss this topic or just, have him make a response to my video is still open, obviously. I don't think he'll be doing it, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy my work and want to get early access to it and help support the channel, then please consider supporting on Patreon. Not only do you get early access, but you can also get one-on-one messaging with me. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you can hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll be linked in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who is your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,